How are we doing? We all right? Yes. It's nice of you to show up today. That's the biggest fear over. Holy crap, you look good. Look at this. I was born, and I always have been, a council estate kid. I was the kid who sat in the audience, saw the person on stage and thought, maybe one day that might be me. Maybe, just maybe. The negative thing about being a council estate kid is you're often told that's not going to happen. There's no way. Don't dare. Don't do it. So all those moments I sat in the audience, all those moments that I thought this was going to happen, kind of surreal. So 12 years of Meet Magento UK, 6 years of JH. We're now at this point where how serious do you have to be before you put a ring on it? Are we committed at this point? Is it permanent? Is it really JH's event now? We have to think about these things. And I think that the big thing for us that keeps us coming back again and again is just how crazy nuts all of you are. So you're going to prove that for me, hopefully, today. But just out of curiosity, how many of you have been to a Meet Magento event before, not just the UK? Give me a show of hands. I know you have. Nice. We like to make sure there's some newbies. So this is what brings us back. This is the kind of thing that makes it happen again and again. The absolute batshit crazy lunatics, the brilliant geniuses, the special and wonderful set of people around Magento, open source, Adobe Commerce, everything else. The fact that there are, in rooms like this, companies founded, relationships formed, sometimes proposals had. The fact that this event creates more value than an ordinary conference. It brings you together, it helps you get forward, it helps you create something new, take it to the next level, everything else. That's what brings us back. That's what brings us back. Because that council estate kid that came to this event for 6 years and experienced those benefits just wants them to continue. It wants them to carry on. It wants them to evolve. Nowhere else would a community organized party the night before an event turn up with that many people. And I think that there are platforms worldwide that will beg, borrow, and steal to get anywhere close to that kind of picture. And good for them, because there needs to be more of that in the world, right? But on top of the countless dinners, the comedy horror bus tour, which I hear was hilarious last night, we still managed to get 200. We worked out, we think about 60% of you last night went to an event of some kind the night before an event. Absolutely crazy. And I would urge you, beyond all else, that the passion of that community, the thing that you should embrace, that you should be part of, that you should lean into, is also about being effective with your voice. It's about knowing the impact of what you bring to today, your part in today. Now, the thing with the Magento Association is they allow you to have that part, the push back into the roadmap, say, this is where I wish it could be better. I wish there was a Meet Magento UK 12 months a year. I'd be very grey, but maybe you can ask for it. So I'd encourage you to sign up. It is free. There is a paid membership available, but it's the kind of thing that keeps Meet Magento UK going, and the 15 or so worldwide events from India, Singapore, Romania, New York, and a whole bunch of other places. This is the association that makes it happen, so please do take a minute, sign up. Nice and free. So today, as always, it's almost a running joke that this slide is out of date by the time I've presented it every year. There are about 690 of you. About 20 people bought tickets this morning, which is nice. If we took away the Adobe team and we took away the JH team, yes, the world would be a lesser place, I know that. But the point I'm making here is if we take away those two key teams, this room is equally divided into three. There's retailers, it is agencies, and it's tech partners. And again, when you typically go to a conference, of so many, it's typically weighed, 50% tech partners, 10% retailers, etc. The fact that we have that 1/3 ratio and we've maintained that now for 5 years of the 6 we've been running is a pretty spectacular thing. So I want to thank everybody for taking part and everybody being part of what today is all about. Talking about Adobe, there's 51 from Team Adobe here. Everything from solution account managers, customer sales managers, technology specialists, partner managers. Am I missing any, Alex? Another 6 or 7 different positions on top of that. But they back this event in a good way. They back it completely. They back it without restriction. They do not force me to say or do anything that I don't want to do. And that is a lovely privilege to have on this stage today. So what have we got for you? Why have you paid this money? Why are you listening to me? What do you want to do for the rest of the day? Oh, you even stood at the back. Look at that. Wow. So when forming the agenda, I spend a lot of pain and a lot of effort, a lot of time to make sure that you have the right people, you have the good people, that you are not having your time wasted. This is time away from families, it's time away from friends. It's usually time away from emails until you get to the break and open it up for 10 minutes. And we want to make sure that, just like we do at JH, that we make sure everything is the best it can possibly be within our control. So let me tell you about it. Let me start waffling. We start with our 2 great track MCs. So for each of our tracks, with the merchant track and the technical track, we have Joseph and Mache introducing all of the talks, making sure you know the speakers, making sure that behind the scenes they have everything they need, from branded M&Ms to their favorite beverage and everything else. It is very VIP backstage, and you'll hopefully see that in the mood of people stepping onto the stage. In the merchant track, we are absolutely packed with content. Both of the tracks, we have 8 talks and 2 panels on each, so 10 different talks. This year, we've decided to go from 30 minutes down to 20 for every single talk. 2 reasons for that. 1, we feel people can get to the point a heck of a lot quicker, which some of you maybe think is quite ironic now of me to say that, but there we go. But we have kept the panels at 30 minutes because we want that discussion, we want the debate, we want the argument that a great panel has and brings to you here. So we have leading retail growth. We have culture of continuous improvement, Google Tag Manager for fun, which is actually not a talk about Google Tag Manager, and it's hilarious. I've just seen. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You're the only one allowed to break the code of conduct. We have inflation-busting e-commerce strategy, the importance of doing good with our favorite charity sponsor, Pennies. How to tell you're doing the right things in this market, AI and its real place in the future of commerce. We got this long without saying AI. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. How to make commerce personal, connecting with our customers, and how to level up your customer experience. So we could stop right there, and the ticket price would probably be worth it, right? Some people are nodding. Sounds right. We have a whole other track on top of that. So the technical track is aimed at, yes, technical more people, but there's also around team culture and excellence and everything else. For me, I think that pure code, technical tracks, there's got to be a balance. There's got to be a balance between this is the thing you can go in and dig into after the conference, and here's something I'm going to demo that's going to excite you to go pick this up and run with it. So here we have low-code Magento, the ability to do things with as little code as possible. We've got monitoring performance, debugging common issues yourself without the need for your agency or tech team. We've got next generation look tree from the bleeding edge of tech, NFTs, and a whole bunch of other exciting things with actual real examples of that happening. We have Hoover and how it's changing the game. I hear there's a big announcement there later. They won't tell me what it is, so I can't spoil it, sorry. It's apparently tiny, insignificant. It's not a good announcement, is what I say. We're then talking about the culture of building excellence and innovation. Does performance still matter? App Builder, Composable. But we're also talking about my favorite topic, which is why you are using Lighthouse wrong. The favored 100 out of 100 score, that it's a mythical beast, and why that's actually not worth all that much. Forgive me for having the flu 48 hours before a conference, not having anything. So every year when speakers are chosen, when they are asked, when they are selected, we hear, when they get off stage, feedback like this. We hear people, the reason I mention the dream I had to be on stage like this is because this is often what we hear from the speakers. We hear, I was nervous, I was petrified, I could not have been dreading this more. That is the life of a speaker. Some of us are good at lying to you and saying that's not the case. Most of us inside, absolutely petrified. But year after year, speakers talk about how special this audience is. Each year we have new speakers. We hide them. We don't label them new speakers. We don't want you to treat them differently than anybody else. This year, 30% of our lineup is new speakers. We do that every year. I'm not asking you to guess who. There's no random competition. You just have to celebrate them all the same. So, like I mentioned earlier, you have a responsibility to hold up your end of that reputation. People come here expecting a welcome stage. They expect the applause for good talks, of course. And what these speakers have dreamt about is in your hands to make that come true. Every year we pick the best people to be the sponsors. We reject far more than we accept, and we end up with a list that looks a little bit like these banners on the side. We're talking about the upper river room. Many of you may have seen it already with the flapjacks, the cakes, the tea, everything else, and I hear it was absolutely heaving this morning, which is good. But what the heck's in it, Jamie? What the hell would I want to visit? Why would I want to go there? I want the tea, I want something else. So let me tell you. So we start with Adobe. I've spoken about Adobe. We've spoken about the 41. Let me focus on Akuva. Akuva are, and have been every year of these 6 years, the people that say yes the fastest to supporting the event. We say, we're doing Meet Magento. They say we're in. They don't wait for the UK. They don't wait for the price. They don't wait for the tape. They say, we're going to make it happen. And this year, they're giving away, in their classic style, a whole Jeroboam of champagne. Just a big champagne bottle about this big. First question you're going to get is, what the hell have you done now? When you say, I've won it, the second question is, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So you need to visit their stands. They have a wonderful heart arch of lit up. It's a wonderful selfie place. If you use the hashtag Magento for life, they will pick a winner randomly for you to win that gigantic bottle of champagne. I would love to see how you drink that champagne afterwards as a guilty pleasure too. They're also doing drinks later with us in the marketplace, so JH and Akuva will be doing drinks later, but they are bringing out the Prosecco. They'll make sure that that's well covered. So let's move on to the marketplace. We have the best to pay the attention to, but we also have just a heck of a lot going on here. So let me try and cover some of the things happening. IOMart are giving away a VR headset. Adyen are doing chocolates. Amazon Pay too. Should have started with chocolates really, shouldn't I? Avalara are doing a Fortnum and Mason hamper, 250 quid. On Tap are doing their audit solution for agencies. Just after midnight are doing a competition for earpods. .digital, if you tweet the hashtag .digital at any time before 5 o'clock today, you'll be entered into a competition for 2 tickets to .digital Summit at the start of September. And ultimately, we've got swag all over the shop. Sunglasses, t-shirts, notebooks, bookmarks, drones, cups, flasks, all these random things that people get. That is just a phenomenal treasure trove, wonderful people to speak to, and rewards for doing so. So I encourage you to go up, say hello, make some new friends, thank them for supporting the event in the wonderful way that they do. Of course, every year JH has their signature swag. This year is no different. This year we have gone with something as a different look and feel. On the right-hand side, we have recycled 6 years of swag into unique teddies. We have foxes, we have bears, we have puppies, Every one of them is completely unique, limited edition, will never be done again, all made out of that previous swag and everything else. This one might have already been stolen, so that one is a demonstration purpose only. We also have our lovely stocks, we have our stickers, and if a miracle occurs in delivery from Newcastle, we also have our t-shirts. Currently they're in a Newcastle distribution center with a couple of people trying to pull off a miracle backstage. So if you see a t-shirt that looks that way today, I want to applaud whoever opens the box. Just applaud them for me, because it is the only way that we see these t-shirts in real life today. If we don't see these t-shirts today, we will ship them out to whoever wants them one by one. We already have a distribution center lined up. We also have our Meet Magento swag. Guess what? T-shirts in the same factory over in Newcastle. Just teasing you now with these things, aren't I? You're saying, oh, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. Well, travel to Newcastle and get it and bring a few boxes back with you would be my current response. But we are fighting to get it, we're fighting to bring it here, and I hope that you see them in person. If you do see them in person, you will see the tables over on the mezzanine up these little stairs, and our staff will be giving them out along with tote bags and a few other things. Everything else you've seen, stickers, socks, all the rest of it, got to abuse a laser when you see it. All of this is happening. We have the whole JH team here. They are all wearing the Team JH badge. If you need anything, if you've got a question, if you see something wrong, let them know. They will deal with it. We are very aggressive in making sure you have a very, very, very good conference wherever we can. So let's talk about that. That's overwhelming. There's a lot to do. How do we balance that out? Firstly, we've got our chill out room in the lower river room. So it's the set stairs that you go through to get to the sponsor marketplace. We have a room there that is quiet. There's not background noise. There's not stream talks. There's not narration. And typically you'll see meetings happening here, but people will be respectful. They won't be almost swore, but I'll save that for a minute. They'll be nice people. So this is where you can sit down, chill out, get away from the rest, and enjoy these wonderful views out the windows of the Thames and of London and everything else. We also have plenty of drinks and snacks. We are self-confessed feeders at JH. We like to make sure you're overfed, if anything else. We like to make sure that you go home a few pounds higher than you were now. We've got drinks all over the place. But we've retained those trademark breaks. We've taken the 40-minute breaks. We've taken the 90 minutes for lunch. We've made sure you've got plenty of time away from the talks to chill out. You don't have to miss things, you can sit around. Of course, we have Wi-Fi. This is labeled everywhere, so I'm not going to have it up for more than a couple of seconds. The thing that we arguably are most famous for in looking and taking care of you is the code of conduct. So one of the things that we've seen a lot over the years when we see who registers and what the makeup of the different companies are and so on, if we zoom backwards to before JH took over, it was kind of 90% being stopped by sales staff, 10% trying to get into a talk, right? And we have tried to flip that as much as possible to say that ultimately you're in charge of the conversation. If someone comes up to you and they're just bugging you a bit too much and they're just being a bit aggressive and you kind of don't really like the person for it, this is why this is there. You can be removed from the building, your badge taken off you, all the rest of it. But it also applies to social media, commentary on everybody else, all the rest of it. Which is why I said Mr. Speaker over there had permission in his thing, otherwise security guards might have tackled him dramatically in the middle of the conference. We are strict. We don't fuck around with this. And this is ultimately our no dickhead rule. And whilst we are blessed with so many of you, tech partners, agencies, etc., I'm well aware that some of you have only brought sales staff today and not any of the rest of your team to benefit from these talks. So read this, respect this, you'll have a great time. As always, share your thoughts. Make sure that it's on the hashtag. You will probably see from me tomorrow morning about 300 likes in a row on every different tweet and post and everything else. but you'll also, no doubt, get attention of our marketing team, I think are right back at the left. I think I saw a hand go up. And make their day too, because we put a lot of effort into today, and every time we see a wonderful comment, our day is made. That's what we ultimately do. So, are we ready for the first speaker that isn't me to start the day? Let's give you a big cheer. We're going to practice that one more time, because that was a bit. If you're a northerner, pretend you're against the southerners. If you're a southerner, pretend you're against the northerners. If you're outside Britain, maybe try and show us up, vice versa. Let's put some energy into it. So, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Georgia Scott, Head of Solutions Marketing at Adobe, who's going to talk to you about the future of commerce. Give it up, go crazy, now.